Hi, welcome back. Sorry this is so late. I didn't even check the time. It's probably around 8 o'clock. Um, I do, I ran out of time today to do this morning, and this was the first chance I got, and I spent the last hour trying to organize and figure out where we were stopping. We're doing our oldest products, which are basically my mainstream products. And there's two indie palettes, one at the end and one that was just tossed in because it fit. So first we're going to start with the e.l.f. bite-size palettes. Okay, so we have the e.l.f. Cream and Sugar. This was my Pan That palette last year for Project Fun Size. This one finished in 29 uses, but that's because it just kept crumbling away and falling away, and I probably used about half of it, but the rest just disappeared. This one hit pan in 5 uses. We hit pan in 9 uses. We hit pan in 5 uses. All those were pans before this year from last year, but that's where that one's sitting. Next we have Truffles, which was my Pan That palette in 23. Didn't do quite as good, but it's because it didn't crumble away. So we hit pan in the first shade in 11 uses. Took 81 uses to hit pan in this shade, 42 for this shade, and 54 uses in the black. Next we have the e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno. Our only pan in here we hit in 27 uses, and we did hit pan in this one this year. Next we have the Rose Water palette. We have our only pan over here, which we hit in 13 uses. And I'm not sure what it is about this one. This one doesn't really get used because the colors look weird on me. I'm not sure why. And finally, we have the e.l.f. CU palette. And we emptied this one beginning of the year this year, and it took 32 uses to finish this one up completely. But again, it kept crumbling away. This pan, that is all crumbled. That is not me using, that's just, these crumble badly. And our final of the minis, we have the Natasha Mini Gold. We hit, the pan's gone because it crumbled and had to be repressed, but we hit pan in Dark Sepia this year in 19 uses. And we finished off this one for last year's Throwback 30 in 63 uses earlier this year. You know, I'm not going to call out every pan. I'll just call out pans that hit this year. So, this year I hit the one in the Hot Jalapeno, the one that I finished off the shade in the ICU, finished off the shade in the Mini Gold, and hit pan in the Mini Gold. The rest of those were from previous. And all the pans in this one were from previous years. But this is e.l.f. Mar palette. That had been a Pan That palette. No, I'm just going to put them over there. I'll put them away later. We have Lock It Down. Now we hit pan in Noted in 33 uses for, I think it was Panda's Eyeshadows got rolled into. And then we just hit pan and Keepsake in 21 uses. And this was in this year's Throwback 30, but I already hit pan in it and rolled it out. And we have the By the Rose palette. And our final one for the color pops is the That's Taupe. Did I hit any this year? No, I didn't hit. These are all. This was also in Project Level Up last year. I thought I hit one new one this year though. But I don't have it marked. Oh well. It is what it is. Then we have the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze, which got rolled in twice. Got rolled in for Panda's eyeshadows, and we hit shade in the first shade, the gold shimmer, and then it was in Project Level Up level 2, and we hit these 2 pans. This one was already there. Or at least that's what I have marked. I try to mark which ones I get in the year, but sometimes I get missed. And I have the Huda Beauty Nude Light. Doesn't have any pans. Next we have the ColourPop Troublemaker palette. Shows that those are the last of the 9-pan ColourPops, but we got 3. These 2 are not really showing up, but there's pans in these 2 as well. So there's 3 pans in this palette. Those are all from previous years. And then we have Too Faced Sunset Stripped. These are all, no, one of these is from this year, isn't it? No, all these are from previous years. This is my favorite neutral palette. Next. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we hit pop. This was in Panda's eyeshadows. This is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. And we hit shade in, hit pan in Empowered and in Happiness, which is over here. I'm not even sure if that's going to reflect. That's a tiny pan. The rest of those were from previous years. I know that was in a Project Level Up previously. It's getting too tall. Let's push that over. And this is one of the ones that got thrown in just because there was room. This is the Blend Bunny Trove palette. It was purchased after all of these ones that are coming next, but it fit there because it's tiny. Next we have the Natasha Denona Pastel palette, which currently doesn't have any pans in it, but I'm working to hit pan in this one for Panda's eyeshadows currently. It's actually what I have. And the inner corner of my eye, but again, I did my makeup this morning. It is late. It's worn off. The Natasha Denona Sunset palette, which has 2 pans in it. Volcano was hit in A to Z a couple years back, and then this year we hit pan in Mandarin. Panda's eyeshadows. Next we have the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, which had been rolled in for Project Level Up. Now, this is another crumble pan, and Invention already had a pan, but we hit pan in Spontaneous, right? Yep. In Spontaneous and in Babies. So this is Invention already had pan. Hit this one and this one this year. And then that was this is the final one I had it right. Yeah, page won't turn, so probably. Final pan that we are going to show today is Dandelion Snow Spell. I have to be very careful with this pan because the shadow is loose. It crumbled and it will not repress. But other than that, there is no pans. It's just this one's crumbling and falling apart. Oh, never mind. There's Cold Front. We hit pan in this month, or not this month, this year. Not that you can get a good look at it because, again, it is crumbled mess. It was dry to start with, and it's just gotten too old. More than likely, I'm going to have to declare that and my Dandelion singles at the end of the year just because they're falling apart and are too messy to try to deal with, so I purposefully avoid them. But that's where I'm stopping now. When we come back tomorrow, do I have any non nope. Starting tomorrow, everything is indie. Dandelions is indie, Blend Bunny is obviously indie, but that was just thrown in. But those were all of my mainstream. Everything else is going to be indie from here on out. Because, yeah, Dandelions was my first indie palette. And after that, I discovered indie, and I did not go back. So thank you for watching. I know this was short and late, and I apologize. But, again, it's closing in on Christmas and time. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.